Hey there, Skeletor here with another comic book haul, and this week we're looking at Space Ghost number 6, Batman Gotham by Gaslight the Kryptonian Age, issue 5, The Ultimates issue 5, Amazing Spider-Man number 59, and Absolute Batman number 1. Let's just knock this out real quick. Alright, first up we're looking at The Ultimates, issue 5. And Ultimates 5 is written by Dennis Camp with art by Juan Frigeri. The story itself is pretty simple. Iron Man's upset that out of all the technology and equipment he sent backwards in time in order to kickstart the Avengers, only a few of them have actually worked. Namely, Spider-Man's probably the biggest success here. Well, yes, Spider-Man and Black Panther. The Hawkeye suit that got sent back in time has been picked up by somebody who isn't Clint Barton, and they've been using it to destroy Roxxon facilities and oil refineries and all kinds of big industrial stuff. Cap says he'll go take a look at it, and we meet the new Hawkeye, Charlie Hawk's Eye, a Native American who really, really hates the white man. Why you went with this comic to go with that route, I don't entirely understand, and I thought about that for a minute, and I realized that this whole comic just highlights how different this new Ultimate Captain America is from the original Ultimate Captain America. Because this Hawkeye is talking a lot of smack. He keeps popping shots off at Cap, but Cap's dodging it all, and instead of attacking back, he's listening to the problem and trying to figure out a way to fix this. A way that we can all work together. The original Ultimate Captain America would have said screw this, broken the guy's jaw with his shield, and then called him a fascist pansy. If anything, this new Ultimate Captain America is basically just original recipe main universe Cap dropped into a new universe. For what it's worth, it might as well be. Ultimate Cap didn't take shit from no one, but he gave out a lot of shit to everyone. Also, we learned that the quiver, or the arrow holder thing on his back, acts as a fabricator of sorts, so he's never really gonna run out of arrows, and everything he's shooting this whole time, like, he's got cluster bombs, sonic screamer arrows, knockout gas arrows, freeze arrows, acid arrows, inertia canceling arrows. That one threw me for a loop. Cap is about to nail him with the shield, and an inertia canceling arrow pops out, which just drops both the arrow and the shield straight out of the sky. Between how insufferable this new version of Hawkeye is and how he's basically just got Adam West's utility belt on his back, like, come on, inertia canceling arrow, that's literally like anti-shark bat repellent. I'm hoping he'll work out better in a team setting, but for right now, I'm not a big fan of this new Hawkeye. And this is the second time now that the Ultimate Universe they did a good job. They just I guess as the kids would say, mid as fuck. It took, 6 issues of Ultimate X-Men for me to find something I didn't like. It took 5 issues of the Ultimates for me to find something I didn't like. Now Spider-Man has to disappoint me. Well, let's see how long we can go before Spidey disappoints. Overall, man, this is like a 2 or 3 out of 5. I'm gonna say out of everything I read, this is the low point of the week. It's also probably the lowest point of the Ultimates, but it's not that. That's the thing, like, it's not that bad, it's just the worst thing I picked up this week, but for the story so far, 5 issues in, this actually isn't bad. I think what really helped me like it a bit more, though, is knowing how the original Ultimate Captain America would have handled this situation compared to this new one. Overall, I'd say this is a 2 out of 5. Next up, we have Gotham by Gaslight, The Kryptonian Age, issue 5, written by Andy Diggle, and art by Leandro Fernandez. We pick up exactly where we left off last time. Victor sees the, electric man in a box. Last month I speculated that this guy was a captured Superman. I could not have been further from the truth. That's the Flash. Except he's like frozen in time or something. He was frozen in a flash of lightning. And he's just, okay, whatever. Doesn't matter, it's the Flash. Jay Garrick Flash, by the way. And then we get Luthor's origin. Turns out that the Flash had been his assistant, and the explosion that would have given him powers froze him in time. Also burnt off all of Luthor's hair. Victor says that this is insane. He's not going to be helping Luthor. Dips out and explodes. We go back to Gotham. Bruce has decided to rejoin the comic, finally, and gives us the Bat Blimp as he travels to Kansas. Oh, also Luthor has turned cyborg. into a steampunk cyborg, or at least we're getting there. Also, Constantine enters the game. I don't know what part he's going to play or why, but he's a brief cameo. I feel like they probably wouldn't have added that in if he wasn't going to be doing something later on. And that's when everybody starts converging on Smallville. Green Lantern is doing his con man trick, trying to pull a fast one on people. Lois and Jimmy show up to investigate the Luthor situation, and there's a little bit of a scuffle, which is broken up by not Superman, Clark Kent. The cover makes me think he can fly, but he came running in like a stampede, causing a little bit of an earthquake. When no one's looking, he uses his heat vision to explode guns out of the bad guy's hands, and when he gets shot at, he just pretends to trip and accidentally fall out of the way of the bullets. This is classic clumsy Clark, which makes me think they're gonna go the same route and make Superman himself a complete Giga Chad. But we learn that Clark is the sheriff of the town, and that's the end of this issue. Written by Andy Diggle, and art by, I don't know, I found this one to be just a little bit boring. It seems like they're kind of trying to toss too many characters into this, and again, part of the reason I'm reading this is because Batman, and Batman barely plays a role in it. But the fact that we're throwing so many new characters in, that this has to be coming to an end soon. And I want to say Gotham by Gaslight is supposed to be like a, I don't know, I'll give this a quick Google, it should be on screen. I want to say it was going to be like 6 issues long, so there might only be 1 issue left, which means that Smallville's going to get wrecked in a giant superhero fight. The art's fine, it hasn't gone uphill or downhill. Again, I was just a little bored with this, wish there was more Batman. I'm going to say this, I want to say like a 2.5 out of 5, but if I gotta go with a solid number, I'm going to say 2. It's a 2 out of 5. Alright, next up we've got The Amazing Spider-Man number 59 by Zeb Wells and art by Ramada Jr. I don't know, this is one of those weird times where the cover is like the panel between last issue and this issue. Normally the cover is just like, you know, the hero's in a cool pose or something, but we ended last issue with Spidey getting knocked out of a window. The cover is them getting knocked out of the window, and we pick up with them falling straight down to the street. I'll be honest with you, before we even get into this, I'll be real with you. This was obnoxiously short. Like, this was a normal full-length comic, but out of everything I picked up this week, this took me like 3 minutes to read through. There's hardly any words, it's all just fights. Tombstone's still trying to kill his daughter, she's trying to run away, Spidey's trying to stop him. That's where this goes. The fight moves from the street down to the subway, and there's a few cool shots where like Spidey's using a lamppost to just beat this guy like a baseball bat, which, I mean, it just looks cool and kind of shows how strong he is. And then I remembered, oh yeah, if he were to stop holding back, because we've seen this happen. If he stops holding back and just casually punches a dude, he can straight up remove a jaw from a face. Like the start of Superior Spider-Man. Doc Ock didn't know how strong Spidey actually was. Threw a punch, full strength, Scorpion's jaw literally detached from his face and flew down the street. Like, this should be a fight Spidey could win. Even if he doesn't want to kill the guy, like, I don't know, man. This just kind of feels like you're holding back still. They roll out onto the tracks, fight some more. Spidey kind of starts getting it together for a minute there. And honestly, Spidey should have won this. But because he had to play the hero and get the bad guy out of the way of a speeding train, which then he himself got hit by, he sort of lost. I mean, he was about to get his head smashed in with a rock while he was unconscious. But for whatever reason, Tombstone's like, nah, you know what, you're right. I guess I won't smash your head in with a rock after all. And as he turns to walk away, he passes out. Leaves both of them lying unconscious next to the tracks in a subway tunnel. I don't know, because they're both passed out like that, I'm gonna say it's a tie. I think technically Spidey lost, even though Spidey should have won. You know what, just because this is all action, even though I wasn't happy with the outcome, there's still 1 issue left. Number 60 is the final issue of Wells' run. We'll see how this turns out. Out of 5, honestly, I like this more than any of the Zeb Wells shit I've read in the last few months. I want to give this a 4 out of 5 and downgrade a little because of the art. I'm still not happy with Ramada, but I'm gonna say 3. Pretty low. I feel like even a 3. Like, if this is supposed to be a 4, we're gonna say it's a 3. Just because of the art. And next up is Space Ghost number 6. Written by David Pepose, I'm not sure, I'm sorry. And art by Jonathan Lau. This opens with some corporate espionage. RoboCorp, who Space Ghost has been investigating this whole time, has hired Moltar, a disgraced scientist, to go steal some Lucidium crystals from Contra Industries. All of these feel like just made up names. It's like some Star Trek shit. I just need the dilithium crystals, okay? We then are introduced to our main characters as they fight Moltar and his molten men, because apparently he can just create beings out of lava. Jace is still kind of messed up from last issue. He's the one who shot Zarak into that weird teleportation hole thing, maybe killed him. I don't think he killed him, but still. There's definitely some tension between him and Space Ghost, and Jan says in order to help take your mind off this, I've got a new weapon for you to work on. It's basically like a cannon for the ship, but it's basically the same thing as, I don't know, an elemental cannon? Oh, it is. It's called an elemental cannon. Think of it as a bigger version of Space Ghost's power bands. While he's working on that cannon, Moltar shows up for round 2, and it turns out round 1 was him just testing Space Ghost, seeing what his abilities are. He escaped, and here we are for round 2. Now he's ready to defeat Space Ghost for real. Jan, Blip, and Space Ghost fly in, and honestly, it looks like we're fighting in a city. It's weird seeing actual cities, not just weird asteroid planets. Moltar kicks his powers up to 11 and starts bringing the planet's molten core up to the surface. Space Ghost gets the crap kicked out of him, and at the last second, Jace comes flying in with a ice cannon. Right as his ship's about to crash, Space Ghost catches it, they stop Moltar, and then they have words. They hug it out and explain like, I'm kinda messed up from shooting that guy. And Space Ghost is like, I never should have put you into a spot where you had to shoot a guy. I didn't know how to talk to you about it. I'm sorry. Overall, I'd say this is a 4 out of 5. It was kind of cool seeing Moltar. I'm glad they resolved the Jace being mentally messed up, traumatized, whatever. And I feel like because we're heading back into the corporate espionage stuff, we're getting a step closer to figuring out what happened to the kid's parents. Because again, the whole time we're chasing down RoboCorp. That's what this is about. Overall, I'd say 4 out of 5. I'm very happy with it. Next up is Absolute Batman, number 1, written by Scott Snyder and art by Nick Dragotta. If you didn't watch last week's issue, check out the review for DC All In, because that explains the creation of this universe and why things are a bit more different than they should be. But in this universe, instead of being the son of a millionaire, Batman is the son of a school teacher, so they're kind of broke. Growing up, his best friends were basically all of who we would think of his villains, Oswald Cobblepot, Killer Croc. It's very interesting. It's very much turned on its head, and the part that I really like the most out of this is the narration makes it seem like we're watching Bruce ride through Gotham on a motorcycle. Turns out, no. This is Alfred, who never left the military Black Ops division, which means he's not a butler. Not a butler, he's still incredibly capable, and he's back in Gotham to hunt down this gang called the Party Animals. But also he's been keeping an eye on the Batman. Cut over to Croc's gym, and we see a dude hitting a punching bag, and he looks like, Bruce Wayne, until someone way bigger steps up. And this is when we get a look at actual Bruce Wayne, and I'll be real with you. This guy looks like he came straight out of Baki the Grappler. He is unreasonably large. We cut over to the leader of the Party Animals, who I guess would be Black Mask. He kills some mob members, he kills some mob bosses, and we cut over to Jim Gordon, who is the mayor and not the police commissioner. During a town hall meeting, Party Animals break in to try and destroy everything, kill everyone, and it's mentioned that the nearest hospital, which is like, I don't know, down the street or something, got torched by these guys not even 2 hours ago. That's gonna be important in a minute. But as they try to enter the room, they get whiplashed? I don't know what to call it. I don't know what these weapons are just yet. I'm sure we'll figure that out in an issue or two, but they get yanked right back outside. Door slams shut, and we see Batman hanging upside down like an actual bat. Apparently his cape is bulletproof because he takes quite a few shots. Drops down, and this is where his cape gets weird. Like an actual bat, there's these hook talons on the ends of them, right? He uses them as like whips to like grab someone around the neck and then throw them through a window. He can also use them as legs. Like, I don't quite understand how they work, but they definitely seem cool. Alfred is told by his superiors that he is not to engage with the situation. And here's another thing. We find Batman can take his ears off and throw them like knives and then reattach them. And I love this shot of how the stairs, every time we see the stairs, they just get longer and longer and longer. And I gotta ask, like, who the hell builds, City Hall like a temple 20 stories up before you even reach, I don't know, we're cutting that part out. And we also see one of the dumber gadgets, at least I think it's pretty stupid. Batman breaks a stick out of his belt, attaches it to his bat symbol. Turns out his bat emblem is an axe. I don't understand how that would physically work. Alright, you do you. We got an axe versus a butcher knife, and immediately Batman cuts this guy's hand off. That doesn't seem like he's taking a non-lethal approach. On top of that, he says, I hear they can reattach them sometimes. There's a hospital 3 blocks south of here. Or is it east? I can't seem to remember all of a sudden. And that's the thing, they torched the nearest hospital, so this guy's probably gonna bleed out. He also does a weird little intimidation thing where he like kinda hulks out. His suit shoots spikes out, and the normal wrist spikes we're used to seeing, the 3 spikes on the wrist, those now pop out. He's got shoulder and back spikes. I don't know what the hell's going on with this new suit, but okay. And as everybody runs away, scared of Batman, he sets off a detonator, exploding the stairs. Even if those are non-lethal explosives, falling through stairs and having concrete land on you, like, I'm pretty sure Batman just killed like at least 20 people. As Batman investigates the leftovers, Alfred tries to intervene, and Batman easily dispatches him, takes his gun, and dips out. We've been getting little flashbacks of little Bruce at the zoo. Now that all of that's over with, we finally get the full flashback. There was a shooter that day at the zoo. His dad hid the entire class in the bat enclosure, and then he got shot. So also here we find out that Bruce's mom is still alive. That's right. Bruce is a mama's boy. Bruce studied applied mechanics, chemistry, criminal psychology, military theory, socio-cultural history. Then he came back to Gotham, got a job in the water department, then the sanitation department. Then he interned at City Hall, and finally he's now working as an engineer, building skyscrapers. And that's where the Batcave is, at the highest point in Gotham. Some of these skyscrapers are here, they're built, but the topmost floors are never really used, which means Bruce can just turn them into little fortresses for himself. Alfred shows up to stop him and gets blasted in the face by his own gun, but Batman's modified it by switching out the ammo. I don't know if you call that modifying, but whatever. Instead of shooting bullets or lasers or whatever the gun did originally, it now shoots itty-bitty little batarangs, and Alfred is just incredibly lucky he didn't take a batarang to the eyeball. Batman steals Alfred's motorcycle and flies out the window 1,000 feet up in the air. There was also a little thing about the Joker at the very end. It turns out Alfred was hunting the Joker before he came to Gotham. There's that, although I don't think he's taken an acid dip yet. He's just Joker. For how different everything was, and how fun it was exploring this world, out of 5, Absolute Batman is like a 4 or 5. I don't know how I feel about the artwork just yet. It's not bad, it's just, I don't know, something's off. I feel like Bruce shouldn't have a baby face. I don't know. Honestly, this was the best thing I picked up this week. I'm going to say this is a 5 out of 5 for Absolute Batman. So those are my top picks for the week. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll catch you next time.